PHP for loop. For loop is used to execute block of codes in a specific or a specified number of times. So execute code specific number of times. Sorry. A specific number of times. So if you have a for loop, we can execute a block of code a specific number of times. Now, if you declare a boundary to be 10, and we have to compare a variable to go through that period 10 times, it's going to execute over and over again. So let's look at the syntax for this. The syntax for this. We have the for loop as we have the while before. The for loop in the open bracket, but there are three major things inside here. There are three major things here. There are three major things. Three major things here. The three major things. Number one is the initial counter. We initiate a variable. It can be any name, be age or ox or seat number or y or whatever. We initiate a variable which normally starts at 0. Then let's say we initiate a variable that normally starts as, let's say we have ox equals to 0. Now the semicolon is the test counter. The test counter is like if function. If x is less than, let's say ox is less than 10. If ox is true, so far ox is 0 and is less than 10, what should you do? You should increase it ox plus plus. Means ox plus 1 all the time is true. Again, these three major parts of for loop. It has the initial counter, which is we declare say ox is equal to 0. It can be anything. It can be ox may be equal to 10, but for the start, initial counter is ox equal to 0. We declare a variable, we assign 0 to it. The next one is we want to text if ox is less than a specific number of times. The number of times we are talking about is 10. This is the number of times. That means ox is going to be tested for 10 times if it's less than 10. Now, if ox is equal to 10, it's gonna stop. But if ox is less than 10 here, it's going to add 1 to it. Ox is less than 10 again, it's going to add 1 to it until you get to 9. Let's say ox is greater. If this is greater than 10, that means it's not going to work. It's not going to run that. So let's go ahead and use. Now, if we are done, so we have the start, we have the test, and we have the increment. This work helps us to move forward. There's a block of code. This block of code here. Now, for us to start this work, what we have to do is, let's now input the values here. We have the test, the initial counter, we say ox equals to 0, and the test is ox is less than or 10. then I'll actually count it. Then we say ox plus 1 increment. Then what should we do here? Here, you should do something like echo something. Echo good morning 10 times, right? Then from there we can tell it to print out something. We can tell it to print out dot variable ox. Variable ox. So we have a variable ox now we've gotten it. We declare a variable ox equals to 0. We test ox to 10 value. For ox, if ox is less than 10, then it should add 1 to it until you get to 10, the boundary. So let's look at this example and test it. So let's go and run our code. Now let's try to print this out and go ahead. Now using PHP follow, it's printed it on the 9th time. So if you go back to our work here, you see everything is on the same line. Let's quickly have something to break here. Dot calls and break. Save the work, then run your work again and see what's gonna happen. Now good morning 10 times 0 and so on and so forth. So let's try to adjust this. Good morning, Mr. 1. So good morning, Mr. 1. Good morning, Mr. 0. Good morning, Mr. 0. Good morning, Mr. 1. Until you go to 9. Now, if you go back to our code, we can also do some other things here. As we said, let's perform 1 or 2 operations. Here, I just want us to print out something here. Print out good morning, everyone. Then I have I want to do 1 or 2 calculations. I declare variable. I call it price. Then price equals to 50. Then if it then what I want to multiply both of them, I want to have declare another variable. We have amount equals to amount. Like I said, amount equals to price multiplied by variable ox. So what should we do for me? Cycle amount. So if here call the amount for me every time that the value is true. So if ox is less than 0, it's going to ox multiplied by 50 is going to give you the amount. If it's 1 multiplied by 1 is going to give you the amount, and so on and so forth. So let's run this code and get out of here. So let's run it now and go ahead and work. Here is the result. So let's break it break it down and let it work more easier for us. Let's try to do something here. Dot code break here so that we can be able to perform our key. Alright, so good morning everyone. 0, 50, 100, 150, see we get to 450. That's a simple way to do one or two calculation with our for loop, which is very easy and very good. We can also use this one to look through an array, which is very easy for us to do. We're going to see more of this in our application